much this turbo B18 build has cost me. First of all, I want to say that this doesn't include any tools or labour charges. This is all just my own work and using stuff I already had. Then I also want to say that the car already had quite a few things on it, which is I could use supporting mods. So you've got the Hondata S300V3 ECU. You can't just use a standard ECU. You're going to have to use a mapping for one. I've got a Walbro 255 litre per hour fuel pump. Again, I don't think the standard fuel pump would take it, at least when you try and have quite a lot more fuel. I've got AN6 fuel lines, which you don't necessarily need. You could probably get away with standard fuel lines if it was an injection car to begin with. And then you've got Tomy fuel pressure regulator. You're going to need that. And the fuel rail, it's debatable, you could probably get away with the standard fuel rail. I've used an AEM wideband lambda. I think that's essential because you use that as an output to the ECU, but also for just general tuning and knowing you're safe in terms of air fuel ratios. You're going to need that. The Tanabe exhaust, and you could probably get away to some extent with a standard exhaust, but I think it's really going to restrict you. You're going to need at least probably a 2.5 inch exhaust to make some decent power. And then I've got an XD stage 1 clutch. You could probably get away with a standard clutch, but it's going to start slipping, and then you're going to end up needing an upgrade clutch anyway. I've got an 8-degree fan switch, which you're not necessarily going to need, but I view it as a good mod. ARP head studs and the oil sandwich plate. I would say the oil sandwich plate is essential for this. Then the main components, I got the Go Auto Works turbo kit, which included the turbo, the intercooler, the blow-off valve, the external wastegate, all the intercooler piping pretty much, although I bought some bits and bobs. I got that second hand, but not previously fitted to an engine, for just over £400. The Morosso sump, you could just have some welding bungs for your standard sump, but this Morosso sump had places for bungs to go straight in for the oil drain, so I view that as a benefit of just, and it's also baffled, so if you're planning to put it on track, then it's a good thing to have anyway. Then you're going to need an upgraded map sensor. So I've got a 4-bar there. You could have a 3-bar as well, but certainly you can't leave your standard map sensor in place. Then I've got a Skunk 2 half-size radiator. You won't be able to run a full-size radiator anymore because your manifold and turbo will be getting in the way. And then a boost gauge. I view that as quite important because you're going to want to know what levels of boost you've got. You could just be looking at your Hondata through, say, for example, your phone, but I think it's nice to have an external data source there, so you're just looking at what the pressure is running on your manifold. Then the oil feed and drain. So the oil feed is all AN3 and the oil drain is all AN10. I use PTFE lines that are a bit more expensive, but you could go a bit cheaper and save some money here. Fuel injectors, I've got a really good deal there. These are RC550 injectors, which were £63. So that's a pretty good price compared to what they are new. But I had to buy some seals for them, and then I've also, and you're going to have to do this if you change your injector type, bought some electrical connectors, which were only £8, and did a whole video on changing them over. Then the exhaust, this was just because I've got a downpipe which was 3 inch, and then the decat and the rest of my system was around 2.5 inches, so I needed to buy some bits of pipe to change from one to the other. And I also got these exhaust studs. These are a very good idea to have exhaust studs as opposed to bolts, because you've got less chance of ruining the heads of them and being able to get them out, so you can take your downpipe off when you need to do it. Then the cooling, spout fan was money well spent, because the cheaper eBay type fan I had before wasn't really up to the job. Then the turbo blanket is quite important to reduce underwater bonnet temperatures and reduce the effects of the radiated heat on the radiator, so it can do its job. And then I've got some stuff at the bottom I didn't use so much, so the gold reflective tape and the exhaust wrap I haven't put on yet, but I probably will do. And then I've got some heat cloth that I bought as a temporary measure for my intercooled piping, because I hadn't got the exhaust wrap on there yet, but I could probably take it off after I put my exhaust wrap on. We'll see. Then some service items. So I've got some colder spark plugs, so they're the NGK Iridium BKR8s. Then I got fully synthetic oil, so I went for some cheaper stuff from Motel this time. And then I've got a Hamp oil filter, though you could probably save a bit of money, probably a half price oil filter if you wanted it. Then just sundry stuff. I've got stuff like bolts, T-clamps, more silicone couplers just to improve the fit of the kit. Then I've got some vacuum hose, an import license plate because I need to put the license plate over to the side of the bumper to aid cooling. Then I've got a 4-port blue solenoid, which I haven't fitted to the vehicle, but will be coming in another video. And then I've got the boost components and some pins, but that's all going to be covered in the coming video. Then how much did this little lot all cost? So my total cost was £2,735. Like I say, my car already had some of the supporting mods on there, but also you could save quite a lot of money if you decide to have a Chinese turbo, cheaper manifold. There's money to be saved here, or more second-hand parts, but that's just how much I've actually spent to date. So let me know if you've got any questions in the comments, and I'll be happy to answer them.